Hello everyone, welcome to this last module of Goods and Service Tax Filings. In this module, we are going to learn about the rectification of returns, that is, amendments in GSTR-1 return and rectifications in GSTR-3B return. Along with this, we will study about the refund process, that is, what are the different types of refunds that are allowed under GST, what are the eligibility requirements for claiming of refund, and how to file the refund applications. So before we proceed with today's session, let us quickly see what we have done in our previous module. So in our previous module, we learned about the matching of GSTR-1, GSTR-3B and GSTR-2B. We also learned about the reconciliation of GST returns with sales register and purchase register. So first, we learned about the matching of GSTR-1 versus GSTR-3B, how these returns are downloaded and what could be the reasons for differences in both the returns and how to reconcile them. Then we learned about the matching of GSTR-3B and GSTR-2B, that is the input tax credit claim in GSTR-3B versus the input tax credits that are appearing in our GSTR-2B. Then we learned about the tools that are available for the reconciliation of different returns and books like Excel reconciliation sheets or GSTIN offline utilities or third-party accounting softwares. Then we learned about the reconciliation of sales register with GSTR-1 and GSTR-3B, how the sales registers are matched with the filed GSTR-1 and GSTR-3B return to ascertain the outward taxable values and the taxes thereon. Then we learned about the reconciliation of GSTR-2B and GSTR-3B return with the purchase register. So let us proceed with the first topic of the module 8, that is rectification of returns. So filing accurate GST return is crucial, but at times mistakes may happen. So the GST law allows us to rectify the errors in GST returns provided they are identified well within the allowed time frame. So in this session, we are going to learn about the types of errors that can be amended, then the process of amending GSTR-1 return, then how to rectify the mistakes in GSTR-3B return, and what are the legal limitations and best practices to avoid future errors. So let's begin with understanding what types of mistakes usually require rectifications. So what are the common errors in GST returns? There could be errors like incorrect GSTIN of recipient or wrong tax rates or taxable values entered in GST returns, then misreporting of B2C sales as B2B sales or B2B sales as B2C sales, then omission of invoices or duplication of invoices, then excess or short payment of taxes, or it can be incorrect input tax credit claims or claiming of ineligible or blocked credits, and so on. So if these errors are left uncorrected, can lead to notices, mismatches in GSTR-2B versus GSTR-3B return, and even denial of input tax credit to the recipients. So fortunately, the law provides rectification mechanism to the taxpayers. So GSTR-1 amendments and overview. Let us have an overview of what are the amendments that can be done in GSTR-1 return. So GSTR-1 is a statement of outward supplies. Errors in GSTR-1 can be rectified by amending the original documents in later period return. GSTR-1 cannot be revised in entirety. So invoice-wise amendments is allowed in GSTR-1 return. No revision of return, only amendments can be done in future returns. So the tables of GSTR-1 can be amended in future return and the return in entirety cannot be revised. Then a new return, that is GSTR-1A, has been introduced by the GST department, in which amendments can be done in the same month in which GSTR-1 return has been filed, but before the due date of filing of GSTR-3B return. Also, the amendments are limited to specific sections, that is, all the sections or all the tables cannot be amended in GSTR-1 return. So what are the types of GSTR-1 amendments that can be done? So B2B amendments, if a B2B invoice was reported with wrong GSTIN or wrong amount, then it can be amended in subsequent periods return. Then B2C large amendments, for any correction of amount in invoices exceeding rupees 1 lakh, large invoice table can be amended in the subsequent period return. Then credit notes and debit notes can also be amended. This amendment will be done in table 9B. Then export invoices can be amended using the amendment facility available in table 9C. Also, nil rated, exempted and non-GST amendments can also be done. So, where to amend the records? Amendments are reported in the same sections in the subsequent month's GSTR-1 return. So, table 9A facilitates the amendment of B2B invoices. Table 9B facilitates amendment of credit notes and debit notes. Similarly, table 9C amends the export invoices. So, if an invoice dated April 2025 was wrongly reported at rupees 10,000 instead of rupees 1 lakh, we can amend the same in GSTR-1 of June return by using table 9A. But an important point to note here is we cannot amend the invoices more than once, and also the invoices cannot be amended after the due date of filing of November month's return or filing of annual return, whichever is earlier. So what are the restrictions? Once per invoice, then deadline November of next financial year or annual return, whichever is earlier, and original final can only amend the GSTR-1 return. Next we have GSTR-3B rectification. GSTR-3B is a summary return and does not allow amendments to past returns directly. If we have made a mistake in filing GSTR-3B return, then we can adjust in the return of subsequent month. So there can be different kind of mistakes or errors in the GSTR-3B return, like underreported output tax, then we have to pay the shortfall with interest in our next 3B return. Then over reporting of output tax, then we can adjust the excess in our next return. Then wrongly claimed input tax credit, we have to reverse it in the next GSTR-3B with interest. Next, missed input tax credits we can claim in any return before the November return or the filing of annual return, whichever is earlier. So for example, if in May 2025 we have missed the input tax credit amounting to rupees 5,000, then we can claim the same in the June month's return, subject to the condition that annual return has not been filed till that date. So it is imperative to always keep a reconciliation statement to back up such corrections. Unlike GSTR-1, GSTR-3B doesn't have amendment tables, so corrections are to be made through additions or deductions in the current return itself. Moving ahead, legal timelines for rectification. So amendments or rectifications can be done up to the November months of the succeeding financial year or the filing of annual return, whichever is earlier. Then only original filers can amend the return. Only invoices that are not accepted by the recipient in the IFF or GSTR-2B can be amended. Then no amendment in nil return or filed through back date is allowed. So what are the best practices? regular reconciliation of GSTR-1, GSTR-3B, GSTR-2B and the books. Then use automation to reduce manual errors. Always maintain audit trail and records, so proper documentation is a must, and file amendments within the prescribed time limit. So to summarize, amendments in GSTR-1 are allowed invoice wise and through table 9A, 9B and 9C. Then GSTR-3B doesn't allow direct rectification. We have to adjust in the next GSTR-3B return. Then timely reconciliation with books and GSTR-2B is a crucial aspect, and we have to avoid errors through validation, automation and regular audits. So rectification is our right, but only within the stipulated time limits. So before concluding this session, we will have a look at the GST portal and see how the amendment tables are filled up and how the amendment functionality on the portal works. So let us go to the GST portal. So here we have logged into our GST account. Suppose we want to amend a record that pertains to the month of May. Let us go to return dashboard. Then we will select the quarter as first quarter and we will select the period May 1st to view the B2B invoice that we want to amend. Then we will open the filed GSTR-1 return. Here, this is the B2B record. This record we want to amend. Here is the process records. We will click on this. Suppose in this invoice, the invoice number is correct. So we will copy the invoice number, but the taxable value is 38,481.6. We want to amend this to 55,000. So we will simply copy the invoice number. Then we will again go to return dashboard. We will select June month, since the June month's return is yet to be filed. Here we can see the return for the period June has not been filed yet. So we will prepare this online. These are the segment for original records for the period of June. And here we have to expand the amend record details. There we have multiple tabs for different types of amendments like table 9A amended B2B invoice, table 9A amended B2C large invoices, then again table 9A amended export invoices, then 9C amended credit note registered, again 9C amended credit note unregistered, table 10 amended B2C others, table 11A amended tax liability advance received, table 11B amended adjustment of advances, table 14A amended supplies made through e-commerce operators, and table 15A amended supplies under section 9(5). So since we have to amend a B2B record, we will select the table 9A amend B2B invoices. Here we have to enter the invoice which we want to amend. So say this invoice we want to amend, then we will click on amend record. Here the entire detail of the filed B2B invoice. So suppose our invoice number is correct, so we need not file the revised invoice number and revised invoice date. The total invoice value remains 40,406, but we have to change this invoice value. So suppose the taxable value is 55,000 and the total invoice value is 62,500. So we will change it to 62,500. Rest place of supply will remain the same. Here we have to change this to 55,000. and the corresponding taxes will get updated automatically. Then we will save the record, and once the return for the period of June is filed, this record will get updated. So this is how a B2B record is amended. So let us take one more example of amending B2C record. So again, let us go to the May month. Let us see. So suppose in the B2C others, we had a invoice, but we missed the GSTIN of that invoice, and we have filed that invoice under the B2C category. That is, the recipient will not be able to get the input tax credit against the invoice. So this 11,94,556 amount includes rupees 1 lakh that pertain to a B2B party. So we will reduce this 11,94,556 amount with rupees 1 lakh and corresponding taxes, and we will add that invoice in the month of June, but the date of the invoice will be the original date of invoice. So suppose here 11,94,556 and the taxes are 1,07,510.04, 1,07,510.04. So let us amend this record. Again we will go to return dashboard. Here we will select the period again June, since June's return has not been filed yet. We will prepare online. Here we will expand the amend record detail, and here is the amended B2C others. Here we can see the table number 10 amended B2C others. We will click on this. Year 25-26, month May, original place of supply was Jharkhand, right? So we will amend the record. Here the place of supply cannot be changed, but we want to amend this record, we can simply do it like $10,94,000. The amount gets updated automatically. We will save this and we will go back and enter the invoice detail in the current month's B2B segment. That is, here we will add the record. We will enter the GSTIN. We will enter the original invoice date, invoice number, and total invoice value and corresponding place of supply, along with the total taxable value and the corresponding tax amount. And once the return for the month of June is filed, the value will get updated in the party's GSTR-2B for the month of May. So that's how the amendment is done in GSTR-1 portal. So thank you.